and welcome back to Family Farms. Today we are working on our edible privacy hedge. So let's kind of take a quick look at what's going in and where it's going. This is the side of our property. We've got these irises that are coming up, but we just want something to add a little bit more of privacy from our road here. So we have a couple of wonderful plants that we're going to put in and let just grow up and take over the area. We have 2 raspberries, two for each panel area. And then in this section, we have 1 goji berry. We are going to add another one and just let that fill in there. And then down here, we've actually already planted up 2 blueberries. There's one here. Another one here. They are rather small right now, but that's okay. They're gonna grow and it's gonna fill in and we're gonna really enjoy the fruits of that. Then here and around the corner, as well to block from our other neighbor, we have another King cherry. These cherries are gonna get huge. They get about 15 foot wide. And what was the height again?
10.
So they get about 15 foot wide and then 10 foot high. So that's really gonna fill in these areas here. I will add in here that this is also just one of the better areas that we have to be able to plant some fruits. Justin, why don't you tell us how you've been planting these?
Mainly the blueberries are a little bit different, which is what we're standing next to right now. Those, they like the acidic soil, and this is a soil is fairly acidic from the oak trees that we have. So we just dug out the holes about to the size that they were and then top dressed it with compost. The King cherries and pretty much everything else, we're digging the dirt out, about a 5-gallon bucket worth of. Then we're gonna backfill with some organic soil that we have. And then we're gonna top dress that with compost as well to give it a better start at life and better nutrients.
Yeah. But as you saw, we still have a few plants to put into the ground as well as some flowers. So we're gonna get to work and start digging some holes.
So what happened?
I tried to lift the bag up and it just literally opened itself and covered me in dirt. Nice, lovely, good dirt.
Was it perforated? I guess so, huh?
I literally just picked it up by this and it just...
Oh well. It's like barbecue. Gardening's like barbecue. If you're not getting dirty, you're not doing it right. That's some roots.
Oh yeah.
More dirt.
As you noticed, when I said, let's get digging, I really meant Justin get digging. And because this is just going to be repeating the same process, we won't show you tons and tons of clips of us Justin digging holes. But we'll just get to it and then we'll go over everything at the end. Real quick, I have to show you guys this. I keep wanting to say we're digging. I'm standing there happily and Justin's doing all the hard work. He is a wonderful man. Ladies, yes, he is currently still doing the hard work. Ladies, just wait for that perfect man because he is out there and he will make all of your dreams come true. Don't settle. Don't do it. Anyways, let's get back to what I brought you over here for. The first rose bloom of this season. Look at her. Oh, she's gorgeous. I'm in love. I cannot wait for the rest of these to bloom as well. Like, I don't know if any other gardeners have this problem, but I love her and I want her to stay and be pretty, but I also want to take her inside and just enjoy her. So it's a hard place to be at. Also, while we're here, I know we just had an update on this not too long ago, but look at all of this growth in the wildflower bed. Look at it. Oh my goodness. Sorry. We'll just look at all of this growth. Wow. Absolutely just beyond excited for this. Back to the real reason of this video. Anyways, we want this side of our yard to be a little bit more closed in, just because the other side of our yard is already just full of trees. Like, they're in the spring and summer, fall, we're just completely closed off, and it feels so cozy and inviting to us to want to be out here. But this side's completely open to the rest of our neighborhood, which everyone's great. We enjoy our neighbors. Everyone's nice. We're not doing it to like block out people or anything. It's just we want to make the same cozy feeling that we get over there happen over here.
Especially because this is the side that gets the light.
And Justin just added in a quick little thing.
Especially because this is the side that gets a lot of the light, and the way that the sun flows here, it goes straight over. It doesn't come at an angle, and so you get light all the time, and planting these bushes won't actually cause shade on that side of the fence. So it'll be nice to have a section that like is on that side and it's planted up nice, but also like you get to have sunlight, because on the rest of the side of the yard we just don't have that.
Yeah. As we've said in videos before, we're basically in a forest. Like, there's just trees everywhere, as like we're surrounded. We can't have an orchard. We can't plant any fruit trees of any kind without compromising any growing space that we have. So this is how we've decided to add in more edibles and also bring in that coziness feel. We're gonna, basically what it does is it closes off the majority of our yard, which is wonderful.
The other thing too is that we could plant like some flowering bushes here that would probably maybe even grow faster than these are going to grow. But I would rather have productive producing plants than flowers. Like, we have flowers in other areas, we want pollinators of course, but I think that I want my food production values to be much higher than my pollinator production, if that makes sense. And we have the clover fields, like our yard is mostly clover. And we leave up the buds. I actually mowed today, and I mowed very high as our lawnmower would let us go. So that way all the little wildflowers and the clover would have the best chance that they can. And I was able to preserve a lot of it actually. But I feel like I would much rather have things that are going to produce food and look nice than things that just look nice, personally. Everybody's got their own thing, but in the landscaping that we want to do, it's more about the food than anything. I want to come out here and be able to eat, not a bite, not have a snack. I want to be able to come out here and get a good amount of food. That might be varied foods. As you see, we have several different varieties of things, and Brie will actually walk you through the specific varieties of these plants once we get them all planted. But it's just about having that supply of food, and like she was saying, get that cozy feel on this side of the fence where the sun is, where we want to plant like a more relaxed garden that you'd actually sit out in and not sit out and wave at everybody that drives by. Maybe not have people notice that you're just sitting out there hanging out, which I know sounds a little weird, but we're out over here in the front all the time, talking to our neighbors and as they go by and things like that. So we're not trying to get away from them. We just want that little bit of cool privacy fence, have food thing. And we'd actually thought about putting them on the inside of the fence, and we're like, how do we keep the dog out? How do we keep the dog out? And then all of a sudden I'm like, we're idiots. Why don't we just plant it on the outside of the fence? And so here we are. And everything's going to expand so much, is that's also why, I don't know if I can make it be seen or not. There you go. You can see all the little black holes. That's why they're so set out from the fence and the irises right now, is that we want some of the stuff to go into the fence, but everything spreads. And so it'll still come into the fence a little bit, and it'll fill the space in, and eventually we'll have to move the irises potentially. But it's all worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. And like, as most women, I do want lots of pretty flowers, but I also really enjoy the edibles. Um, the varieties that we've got are really exciting to me, and that's one of the ways that I was able to compromise with Justin on adding more and more food in and not adding in some of the flowers that I would like to have. You know, it may not be on this property. It may end up being a different property where I can have more and more flowers. But right now, edibles is really our focus. We'll go through the varieties in just a little bit, but I have to tell you, I am so excited for one of these raspberries. I have wanted to try some of these for a long time. One of the YouTubers that I watch, it's Garden Answers. She absolutely loves this variety of raspberry, and I just can't wait to try it and see what she's been talking about all this time. Like, I've watched her videos for years now, and every year when she goes to harvest them, and is pruning them, all of that, she's just bragging on this one type, and I just can't wait. I can't wait. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Raspberries, blackberries. Oh no, they're planting them. It's gonna send off suckers. They're gonna just take over. And that's okay. That is a-okay with us.
There's a few things about that. One, we don't plan to be here that long, which kind of makes it somebody else's problem, which I realize sounds awful. But I think it's also kind of a blessing in some ways. This is a pretty steep hillside. It's really a pain to mow, even with a push mower. And so if we were able to get raspberries to take a lot of this over, that would be great. The other thing is they will take over in a bed, because it's really hard to prune berry bushes back. But the thing is this is an area that gets mowed all the time. This side gets mowed. Once we get the clover on this side, that side will get mowed. There's a bed actually right here, so if the raspberries got into there, I don't think that would be much of a problem. It might upset some of the flowers that are in there already, but this is going to be regularly mowed, so the bushes won't have the ability to take over. They'll get cut off before they can even come out. Mm-hmm. If we were planting them next to the house, like there's a section over there that has blackberries, but again, personally, I don't see how a berry bush taking over could be much of a problem. So that's just where I'm at. But I don't think it'll be a big deal, especially like I'm joking about people moving in after us and us not being here very long. But the truth is that, like I said, this section gets mowed, so it's really not going to be a problem for anybody, you know. And if I had the opportunity to buy a house with established berry bushes like this, I think I'd be pretty excited. So
yeah, if the time ever comes and we do have the opportunity to move into a bigger onto a bigger property, to where we could grow more things and have more animals and such, then already having things established would sell us on a property. It would just be like, all right, that's it. That's the one. It's got the size we want, location we want, and it has already established food sources. Perfect.
Especially these. That wasn't nearly as eventful as I thought it was going to be.
No.
I thought it was going to be more difficult.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more.
Come here and I'll tell him why it's like this. So our dog, she really likes to come through here and get to where she could see us at the fence whenever we pulled up, or where she could see other people and things like that. And so before we had the small fence that we built earlier to keep her out of what's now the wildflower garden, we didn't want her to get in here and damage our blackberry bush, and we didn't want her to get in here to damage our roses, which she'd already done. We have one that was there that's dead, and then we have this rose here that's coming back phenomenally, which I thought was dead. I'm not gonna lie, when Bree cut it back and the way that it looked from where she had tail slapped it to death, I thought it was dead. And so it's great to see how it's come back. But now we're gonna give this blackberry bush a friend right here. Since Bree probably won't be able to get in here to see the tag, this is a Chester thornless blackberry. It's got a different name on here, if you can see that. I can't say that, but that's what it's called. The other variety here we have is a thornless. Of course, I think that in time, this one blackberry bush could definitely expand and take up the space, but we're just gonna help things out a little bit. We got that one last year with kind of buds already and fruit already on it, and so we were really lucky to get it like that, but this one's gonna take some more time to grow up.
Also, this one, it was pretty much this size when I bought it. There was another branch that was right about this tall, but it was broken, so like they just took that out to clean up the plant when I went to go check out. So yeah, it was already this big. It grew one small new branch this year, and that was it. So,
well, but that's what it grew last year, one small new branch, right?
This spring it emerged.
Okay, but that's not abnormal. I think what it is we didn't do any of the soil stuff that we did on the other ones, and that showed itself in the things that we planted. We had a lot of things just not grow well or die, and so that's why we're taking the steps now to dig out such a big hole and top dress well. And speaking of top dressing, do you want to tell on yourself real fast?
Not right now. I'll do that later.
I didn't realize how deep this mulch was.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
Look how wet this soil is, and it's not raining so long that I don't remember the last time it rained, but this is definitely doing the job that it's supposed to. And I think that's part of the reason that that's flowered so well and why the rose looks so good, because it's covered in buds that we did not have last year. That rose did not look anything like that. So I think it's happy. This mulch is red cedar mulch, and it's definitely made an impact on a lot of plants around the garden this year. And so I'm happy to be able to plant the blackberry here, and we're actually gonna water in all those fruit bushes you've already seen and mulch the top of them to help keep weeds down, to help obviously the soil composition, and so that way when we have to come out and mow and weed eat, it's definitely sure what's what. We're gonna know for sure that what plants we don't want to take down on accident, because that would be very sad.
So we'll go ahead and tell you what Justin was referring to a moment ago when he said, asked if I wanted to tell on myself. The other day, I was outside and he had asked if I would top dress all of the plants that are in ground that we have. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. All overnight, get out here, life happens. I grabbed the wrong bag. I didn't even look at the bag. I just grabbed one of the bags I'd bought and I opened it and I went around and I put it on all the plants. I put garden soil on all the plants, not compost. I was supposed to compost top dress all of the plants and I did not. I put garden soil. So in doing all of this work today, we are top dressing them with compost like you're supposed to, and you know, have everything be nice and healthy and get nutrients and fertilized. And yeah, don't do like I did. Pay attention to the bag. Justin,
yeah,
what are you doing?
Well, I had to dump soil, and then it reminded me that I have this big metal tank tub, whatever it is, and I really want to have some kind of water garden and fish thing here on the farm. So we tried to put a pond over there where the wildflower garden is, but that's direct sunlight for a large portion of the day. So we learned quickly that that's so much algae and there's no way to control it. But we watched videos where you don't have a filter, you don't have a pump, you don't have anything, and you're able to put a few fish in a stock tank type thing like this, and some plants for shade in the water, and that should allow you to have that without the crazy algae blooms and all that sort of thing. So I think we're gonna totally give that a shot again at some point this year, because it's cool. That's it.
This guy cannot finish one project before starting another. And I love it. And it's also just a touch annoying sometimes. But it makes life fun. Doesn't it, babe?
Yep.
I like it. Look at my $10 find, Facebook Marketplace / yard sale.
We have an issue where we don't ever get started very early on Saturday mornings because we're always trying to go to the farm sale and then getting sucked into garage sales and thrift stores and places like that. And we got this for 10 bucks, which I'm super happy about. And I think being green and brown matches the aesthetic really well. But it's a little picnic table for Oliver, and we kind of wanted it where we could see him, obviously, from the porch and things, but where he feels like he's getting some independence and able to play like that. Speaking of things that we got this morning that probably didn't need to. We found this really cool miter saw. I really don't know what you would call it, but it basically gives you some of the functionalities that you get with a miter saw. It's really interestingly built, like the engineering that goes into old stuff like this. But you pull this up, and then you can turn to any of these different angles for your blade. Apparently, this person preferred 45-degree angles and no angle, because that's where all of the huge marks are in the wood. Obviously, at some point, we're gonna get a miter saw. We don't have a miter saw right now. This isn't really gonna replace that, but I thought it was really cool for $15, and it kind of made me think that finding old, weird hand tools like this might be one of my new things, because I think it's super neat and was super excited with it. And it works really well. I mean, I cut a 2x2 with it, and it took some elbow grease, and I had to hold it down because I didn't have it on this table at the time. But I think to actually use it, you would need to have it kind of clamped down somewhere, so that way it's not trying to move around on you. But I just thought it was a super unique tool. Seemed really cool for just $15, and I'm probably still going to end up using it for some projects.
Okay, we got to get back to planting and things. Let's go.
Now for your regularly scheduled broadcasting. We're down to planting the last few things today, which are these elderberries. We've got 2 of them, one here and one there. That one actually might go a little bit further down. But anyway, these originally were going to be a part of the privacy hedge, with the edible privacy hedge. But I later discovered that they are toxic to humans and to animals if you eat them before you process them. So I think you need to make them into like a juice or a syrup, and then they're okay. But if you don't process them in some manner first, buddy, if you don't process them in some manner first, then they're toxic. And with little ones like this, and with the dog and the other animals on the farm, I didn't want to really risk putting those inside the fence where they were easily accessible. I definitely want the elderberries. They have some great beneficial properties, but I don't want to take the risk of him going up and like not understanding. Sorry, we had a loud vehicle come by. As I was saying, I don't want to risk this one not understanding why he can't eat the elderberries, but he can eat basically everything in that fence row. So I think it was easier just to put them over here, let them get into this random bushy woods area, and let them grow up here versus over there where somebody could eat them on accident. It just seemed a lot easier to me, but I'm still super happy to have the elderberries. And that's why we had the gap over there next to the goji berry, and maybe like some other gaps in where we were going to put things. So this will just even out. Like, we'll go back and get some more plants because it's fun. Though I am exhausted after planting, I don't even know, 11 different things today.
We had 10 edibles and then 2 flowers.
Big worm?
No, this is some good dirt. This
There is a worm in it though.
is what we've been wanting.
Yeah.
Minus the weeds.
Well, this is what happens when you let nature do its thing instead of trying to grow grass, where all these leaves sit and decompose year after year and the worms are in here like crazy. Then you get this kind of really good, soft, nutrient-dense soil. that's full of worms. I mean, I break it apart and there's worm after worm after worm. So these are probably gonna grow better than some of the stuff that we've planted in other areas just because of how great the soil is. I put the shovel in and it literally went through like a hot knife in butter. So this is some really good stuff. I have a feeling this is gonna grow fast. Look at that.
Wow.
I probably need to break them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though the soil is as great as it is, I'm still gonna put the compost and then the rest of that organic soil that we had in here, just because it's what we've done with everything else. So I figured, why not just use it? There wasn't really that much of that left, and it doesn't take that much of this compost on anything, so it can only make it better.
So while I'm here watering in the hydrangea, I do just want to also give a shout out to my local nursery. I had bought this hydrangea last year, and if you watched our garden tour video, you'll see what used to be there. It was the sticks of a dead one of these. It did not survive last year, and thankfully the nursery I bought them from, they have a wonderful policy where if your plant doesn't survive the year, they'll replace it for you, which is absolutely fantastic, and it has continued to reinforce our loyalty to that particular garden center or nursery. We love it. I go there all the time, even if it's just to wander around with Oliver and the dog, because it's just a lovely place to be. But now that our yard is looking more and more beautiful, I don't know that I'll be able to force myself away from here as much to go wander around there, but they're wonderful. They have great prices. If you're in the area, it's Meadowview Garden Center in Lenore City. Absolutely love them. All the workers are fantastic. They're super knowledgeable and really helpful. But I need to finish this stuff off so I can go rest. We're hot and tired now, and we just want to be done. So let's finish this. Last but not least, let's go ahead and go over the varieties of edibles that we put in. First, we have the Red Raspberry Heritage, and I'll pop up just little pictures of all of these. That way you can see them and kind of know what they're going to look like in the future and all of that. I also have the Raspberry Fall Gold here. And then we have the Phoenix Tears Goji Berry. Let me just get that. So we have a Misty Blueberry Bush, as well as a Legacy, and then 2 Nanking Cherries, and then 2 elderberries as well. I don't know if there's a specific variety on those listed, but so Justin just informed me that it just says wild elderberry on it. So we have that, and then Justin already mentioned the type of thornless blueberry bush that we got as well. So that's everything. Let's go check in with him and see if there's anything I have left out.
No, I don't think that you missed anything. I think that pretty well does it. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see how well these bushes produce, especially like the Nanking cherry. It's supposed to grow like 2 to 3 feet a year, and it flowers in the fall, so I'm hoping that maybe we'll have a chance. Like a lot of these things flower in the fall, but they don't grow that rapidly, but I'm hoping maybe we'll have a chance with the Nanking cherry to actually get something next year, which would be, or this year, which would be really cool. But definitely we'll have some things next year, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
But no, I definitely am not very good at finishing one project, but I think we can check this one off, even though there's some other berry bushes we want to add later. But we definitely have other things going on that we'll get into at another time. But no, we're always doing projects and always working on stuff. So if you like this video, then please come back and watch some more. I hope this video was good. That's how it is every time you make one of these. So if you ever want to make YouTube videos and you feel like, oh, I just don't think it was a good video, don't worry. That's how it feels every time.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried this a few different ways on a few different subjects. But doing it this way has been really good for us because I've really enjoyed watching the progress of the farm.
Yeah, that's what I told her today in the car too. I said, if anything, even if we don't have anybody really watch these videos, we can look back and see the incremental changes that happened on our own property and the things that we were able to do. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, I'm enjoying just tracking it for us. But if you do like it and you are enjoying it as well, please let us know. We would love to hear from you.
And I think that's going to do it for this video because I have a date with a hammock. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you have a great day and God bless.
God bless.